Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures on what has been, as you can see, a very warm day. I started off very early this morning, 7 o'clock here on the allotment. Here we go again with these things. And well, I managed to about 11 o'clock and then it got really hot. So I popped inside, a nice cool house, luckily. And then I came out about 3 o'clock in the hope that the sun had gone down and the temperature was a little less fiery. Well, it hadn't. I've been in here transplanting some more tomatoes into grow bags, and well, it's about 30 degrees inside the polytunnel. Well, welcome to the show. Sit back, relax. It's great to see you all. Put your feet up, have a cuppa. Oh, in this weather, something stronger. Well, I've just found a little bit of shade. I've been transplanting as well today my turnips, the white turnips, and they've now gone into bigger pots here and in the same compost. So they're doing well. They're very well watered. I won't water them anymore now. Let them established. They're probably at times too waterlogged. So I'm going to let them dry out a little bit over the next day or so. It's warm enough to do that, and then we can reintroduce the water from the bottom only. So yes, I've got some more of those to do. There's about 4 plants in there that will come out into pots, and then they will be transplanted out into one of my raised beds, which are doing really well. Some sad news here on the allotment. As you know, I put quite a lot of pumpkins out, and 2 of the plants, unfortunately, have been nobbled by slugs or something to that ilk. And so I'm protecting the others. I've got coffee grounds around them, and I'm keeping an eye. Interestingly, I thought it was overwatering, because sometimes you can overwater pumpkins, believe it or not, in the early stages, and then the leaves tell you straight away, because they turn a light yellow colour rather than the deep green that they've been. And so I did slightly overwater when they went in initially, but that's always a good thing. Anyway, the ones that are in now have recovered and they're being really strong. The 2 I've lost, unfortunately, the slug hit right across just as it came out of the ground. And because they're hollow, literally a great big hole right up all of the stems, they tend not to survive. So unfortunately, I've lost 2 of my pumpkins. However, luckily for me, if I'll just reach over here, I have some spares. And in fact, this spare here has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buds on it already. I don't think they'll become pumpkins. Well, I hope not. I don't want that many. So we'll get that out, get that into ground. But I'm going to put this in a raised bed so I can keep a closer eye on it. I put lots of coffee grounds around it to keep an eye on that too, so we don't get any more slugs on that. That will be done before today is over. Now, a little bit of a warning, and I almost fell foul of this. I won't show you the packet because I don't want to name the company, because I don't think it's fair, even though I have contacted them and I'm afraid they weren't very helpful really. I wanted some moisture control because I've got a tumbling Tom tomato that goes in a hanging basket, and I thought, oh great, I'll buy some of those water retaining granules. Looked online, went to shops, had a look, and I thought, well, I don't need a big packet, so I bought a small packet. Reduces water in, releases water when it needed, pack treats up to 40 pots. I think, oh, very good. Water, it looked fantastic. Possibly my own fault. Looking on the front, it should have been a little bit of a hint. There were no vegetables on here. However, on the back of the packet, in the very small print, it reads, for use on ornamentals only, which means, apparently, when I phoned the company up, these granules haven't been tested on vegetables, and so they recommend you don't use them on vegetables because they don't know what properties could affect your vegetables, which is not really very good. So please be wary. Look on the packet like I luckily did before I put my tumbling Tom tomatoes in. What makes me laugh is it says 0% to landfill, and this bag is made of 50% recycling. Now, I don't know what's in here. I don't know whether actually it affects the soil it goes in. Always wear gloves when gardening. It says spills are slippery, wash hands after use. It just says evergreen. It doesn't say whether or not they're good for plants, whether it's good for the soil. Obviously, it's made up of something. Yeah, moisture control. I'm going to look into that, because if I put something out there that are not organic, I'm going to look at ways of organically retaining water in the soil, and we'll keep an eye on that. You can, of course, put capillary matting at the bottom of your hanging baskets inside, so it retains moisture. So maybe line it with capillary matting, so when you water the hanging baskets, or your tubs or buckets, whatever is exposed to the heat, rather than being in the soil in the ground, it gets sun protection in those things, because the deeper they go, the more moisture's in there. So yeah, keep an eye out, because I almost, as I say, fell foul. As I say, I've been preparing them and adding extra tomatoes in my covered greenhouse. I've now put another seven tomato plants have gone in. They're involved in the watering system. I've not yet tried the watering system. I've just watered with a watering can. I'm going to put it on in a minute and see whether that waters or not. So yeah, more. Now, what I am interested in doing in the next few days, I'm going to put some new carrots in. Well, I say new, these are like a heritage variety called Harlequin, and they're all multicoloured carrots. So I've got purples and oranges and yellows in there, and white, in fact, and you can sow them March to July, so they can go right through. Excuse me. So I look forward to seeing those come up. Luckily, I've got loads of carrots happening at the moment. Just need to find somewhere I can pop them. I may pop them in the raised bed. We'll see whether or not I can plant them with, of course. I've got sprouts coming to go outside. I've got my turnips here to go outside. I've got more cabbages to go outside. Just running out of space. Now, earlier today, I was in my covered frame here, and I heard like a bird. And I'm thinking, oh, there's plenty of birds around here. I turned around, and there's a baby blackbird sat looking at me. And it's got in, I didn't realise, right in the far corner there's a hole. I've not covered the netting fully. The cheeky blighter, as he come out of the hedge, found his way in. He wasn't at all bothered by me, and I didn't get it on camera, unfortunately. And then he just potted out. I got the gate open fully to the career. It wasn't straight out the way it came in. So I need to keep an eye on him and that, and I will go around checking for any more gaps in my covered greenhouse frame. I've just lifted my cover from my chili peppers and my sweet peppers here, and they're doing really, really well. They're well watered, and also what I've started to do, I've put a tray with water in it, and already some's evaporating, because what it does is once the cover's down, this gets to about, it was up to about 40 degrees today, and which means this water evaporates. It makes it all nice and moist inside here. I do come and spray on the plastic as well, because they love a bit of moisture, not directly onto the leaves, but do love moisture in the air. They do need a little bit more watering now, but not overly moist. And yeah, in fact, that's all right. Stuck my finger in it. But yeah, so hopefully they're doing very well. I've got some, I think, somewhere here developing on one of these. Oh, I think it's the one in the corner there. And a little, some little flowers are coming, which is fantastic. So yes, 40 degrees in here. Water in there. Keep it moist, and they'll really, really love it. A bit spray now and again, just to make sure the atmosphere is lovely, and they love all that heat and that moisture. Behind me here, I've just noticed the complete thing's collapsed at that side. So I'll have to relook at that in a moment or two. I think it's the weight of all the soil that's in there and the heavy soil. As I say, in here again, in this grow bag here, it's definitely shrunk. We have fiery peppers, hot chili peppers, grown from seed at home. So they're a lot smaller than these ones here that were grown at seed, but early on in the year. And these, well, they're doing really well, actually. I say I've got these are my cabbages in here too. They're to go out, they're red cabbages. And then I've got some sprouts down here as well. So they'll all go out. And this tiny is my red basil, which is very exciting. Red leaves. Well, it's called a black basil, but actually it's a red leaf, really. Needs a bit more water today. It's going to be a bit dry, so I'll get that sorted very, very soon. Because, of course, that is still on the heat mat. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, shall we do an update? Look at this. Do you remember those cuttings I got off the tomato plants? Well, they're really establishing themselves. They're coming on big and strong now. They're going to go out now into the other greenhouse. which offers plenty of light and continual watering because I have water from underneath. And it's really, really brilliant. Yeah. Oh, I do love this time of year. Well, just a quick update today. So once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. I'll see you on the next show with even more information and more news from around the world about what you're growing and, of course, what's still happening here on my allotment. I'll see you very shortly. Once again, thanks ever so much for watching. Ta-ra for now.